guys, welcome out back to the shop. Still working on this Ford Model A front end this week. This is going to be week number 3. I'm working on it. Hopefully I will get everything taken apart and painted and stuff like that, that we can actually start putting it together this week. I do have a lead on a spindle and a perch or spring perch, and working on trying to get those for a decent price instead of the $150 for the both of them. So looking at that, and we're just going to continue on with what we're doing. All right, so just to recap what we got going on here, got everything completely taken apart except for the tie rod end. That's what we're going to start with this morning. We've got the arms painted up, leaf spring painted up, the front axles painted, and here's a couple of the parts that we've got brand new. So the kingpins needed a rebuild kit, so I got that, and that's put right here. Got the leaf spring shackles right here, and those will go like so, and then the leaf spring will connect to that. And then we've got the rubber seal and the little metal piece that will go on like the steering arm and stuff like that, and the tie rod ends. And then the other day, just scouring through the eBay world, I ended up finding some springs for the brakes, and usually these are sold for like 15 bucks on eBay, and I got this for $5. So I won that bid. I think it was like $5.20. So there was no reserve on it, which was awesome. I really am happy that I got these for such a cheap price. And we got some of the parts right here that have already been sandblasted and need to get painted. Obviously that needs to get painted, and that needs to be painted. And that's what we're going to be working on today. A lot of sandblasting, a lot of painting, a lot of cleaning. You ready, little dude?
Yeah.
Alright, let's get started and start looking at getting this tie rod end taken apart. That needs to go over here. Yeah, this piece needs to be taken apart today. So we need to remove the cotter pin out of there, and that just broke off.
It just broke off?
Yes, that's pretty simple. I need my set of pliers so I can get that off. Here, go over there, buddy.
Okay.
So we'll keep this right here.
Dang.
Get the wood out of the way. And so this should come out, and then there should be a spring behind it. Yeah, there we go.
I think.
Here goes that piece. So we got a spring, or it's in there with these clamped around the ball, and then there should be a spring right behind this.
Yeah, I think I see it. Gotta keep that twisted up.
There we go. There we go. There's the spring.
Dang, that thing was not.
That's what keeps that ball in place.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got all the pieces off of the ends, and we've gotten the bolts out of the tie rod ends. I'm going to take a measurement in between both of them real quick. Tell you guys, mainly just for my remembering, I'm at 39 7/8 in between them. So whenever I go to put it back in, I can put the piece is in at about 39 7/8 inches, and it should get me fairly close to where these need to be to help with my alignment. So now I just got to work on getting these pieces off. So they're rusted just like everything else, but hopefully they come off fairly easy, I hope. I'm gonna put a bar in there. And see what happens. I probably need to put in a device
Probably.
so that it won't rotate.
Yeah.
We took this all apart, and now we are ready for sandblasting. That's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so this has been staying quite a mess. You can see that we got some sandblasted parts laying around right now that are waiting to get painted. I ran out of paint, so I couldn't do anything with those. So I started putting some of this back together. Got the kingpins in. Now, I did not replace the bushings in these, but the reason why I didn't replace the bushings is that I'll eventually do it, but it's not on the top of my list, and this is just easier to slide back together for right now. Especially on this side, you can see this spindle is not painted because it is damaged, and trying to find one that's not gonna break the bank. So yeah, you can see that bearing's even upside down. So this is just pretty much trying to get it back together so that I can keep mocking up different parts on the Model A as we're working through it. You can see I still got the bushings out here. But one thing I did run into was this nut did not want to go on the bolt. Ended up having to re-tap and re-thread the two items right there. I don't know why, but they did not want to go together at all. Even the old one didn't want to go on that bolt. Backing plates are all painted up, look good. So I'll be ended up taking off some of that stuff and redoing the brakes on that anyway, so it's not a big deal. But I do got some perch bolts coming in soon, so that's why this one's not like all the way in. I got one coming from California, so this will get changed out soon, and then I'll be able to get that leaf spring in. Pretty much this is just like finding the parts, waiting game, and then painting a little bit more, waiting, painting. It's tedious process, but it's fun. So we're just gonna keep on working on what we can. But that's kind of the mess I got going on right now. Alright guys, so I finally got some major progress going on. I got all of the parts that are going on here painted. I'm not replacing the spindles quite yet. I have brand new spindles, but I want to put them, put the new kingpin bushings in those, but I don't have a reamer that will do the job for that yet. Those are kind of expensive, so I'm going to skip over that for right now. Leave the spindles as they are. But I'm replacing those bushings and like the drag link and the tie rod ends. And man, this stuff is so much tighter and it's so nice. This used to just flop around, and even when I'm pulling it and moving it around, the tie rod end and the spindles move very nice, and it's so much simpler, so much smoother. I'm going to put some grease in all the fittings, obviously, and get those all up done. But got the cotter pins in all the places that need them. This brake actuator is working great. You can see that this bolt is, or this nut, still rusted. So I'm planning on getting the like different hardware pieces and getting those replaced as well at some point. So like this is going to get replaced. These are going to get replaced. I don't know if these are going to be getting replaced or not. If I can find them for a decent price, I probably will. One thing I did run into, this bearing is stuck on there. It rotates just fine, but this spindle is all scarred up and just damaged. So that means that I've got to look at the wheel really good and make sure that's all nice and clean. But I'm going to go ahead and start getting this all put back together so that this side can be done, because I'm still waiting on this one perch to get here. Had a couple get delivered the other day. Those are in here and they are not in very good condition. So this one right here, I'm not even sure if this is a Model A, just because it's quite different and it's worn right here. You can see this one has the ring that goes all the way around, or like the bevel, and this one doesn't have it. And then these are all cracked and chipped right here where the bushing is. This one is the same, a little bit worse. And then I have another one that looks just like these. So I'm not going to be using these. I'm going to keep these as, I guess, backups just in case. But there's the spindle. I already got it painted. Put one bushing in, and then I'm just going to wait and get that all put together. But got those are the front. Here's the front that I'm going to be putting on, and then here are the rear pieces that I still need, and that's what I'm going to be working on next, is the rear end. So slowly putting this together. Got to put the bushings in the leaf spring to put it on the front end, but we're just knocking little things out at a time. So right now we're putting on the road, or where the brake pads are, and also the grease baffle all go in one area. And like I said, I can't get this outer bearing off, or the inner bearing off, so it's just gonna have to stay for right now. But we'll clean up the hub, and then make it so that at least I can get it around the yard. Alright, so that's on. And then the hub will go on, but I gotta clean it up real quick. I guess it's got a bunch of grease and stuff still in there. Spider webs. So we'll get that all cleaned up, and then I'll get that put on right here. Alright, so now I have the washers and the other bearing. I need to clean all this up. And then I've also bought a wheel packing setup, so I'm going to use that for the first time and see how that does. So let's get that in the shop and see what that does. Alright guys, so the setup I got here is a bearing packer from Swan Lake and some red and tacky grease. This was off of Amazon for I think $27 for the set, or the setup. And this is pretty nice because if you wanted to and you had your grease gun, you could actually pump grease in through here and it would go into the bottom. But I did not know that, so I just bought a jar of the grease. So I'm gonna put some into the bottom of here. And that's why I'm wearing gloves, it's nasty. And it comes with like a cap to keep everything all nice and sealed up. So we got that. Alright, so now you got your spot, and then you just take your bearing, throw it in there, kind of push this down onto it, and then it's supposed to push all of the grease, all the, like the old grease out. So we'll see what's gonna happen. Can you guys see it? It's supposed to push it up. And there we go. You guys can see that it's pushed a lot of the old grease out. And it started to push it out of the actual bearing area. Pushed out a little bit more. I think that's good enough. So now we can just take bearing out. Now we can go ahead and put this on the actual spindle. And we got 2 washers that need to be installed on this side. I don't know why there's 2 washers on this side. This is the messed up spindle. So I wonder if it had 2 washers for that reason. We'll put one, and then here's the second one. This was the outside one. And it's actually got a groove for the keyway. You guys can see that groove right there. So we actually have to put it in line with that keyway. Then we got the nut, and you can see that I'm not even cleaning the nut up because I'm going to be replacing this whole entire spindle anyway. But we'll just put that on there. I wonder if it's 1/16. Yep. So hold the brake down. Let's see. There we go. I may have it a little bit too tight. Let's loosen it up just a hair. And then obviously, you know, if I was going to keep this on the car and drive it, you'd be putting a cotter pin in here so that nut can't come out of there. But it's time to go ahead and do the other side and get that all put together. All right, so I got the left front wheel all together, and I was questioning whether or not I needed the 2 washers on this side. And I put this hub on, and the washer is actually inset in there, so I do need to get another washer for that. But like I said, the spindle will be getting completely worked on a little bit later. I'll replace the spindle, wheel bearings, the washers, spindle nuts, and all that good stuff, and make sure that's all good to go. I even got brake parts, so brakes will get replaced at about the same time. But this week's video, or actually it's been about 2.5 weeks, is mainly just getting all the front end apart, torn down, painted up, cleaned up, getting new bushings in on the steering parts and everything like that, getting new spindle perches and the leaf spring brackets, which I'm about to press into the leaf spring and get this situated. And now I'm going to go ahead and get the leaf spring started. Still waiting on that perch, but as soon as that comes in, I can knock that one out and then finish connecting the leaf spring. But I want to get it kind of looking like it's done. So this is going to be the first time that I'm even like testing it out or anything like that. So I wonder if I can put come from the other side and hit it better. I wonder if I can put a little bit of grease on there and it'll slide in a little bit better. And by that I mean just like a very light coat. Let's see. I probably should have like pressed these in before. I wonder if I can do it with like a C-clamp. Okay guys, well look, I got the front leaf spring in, it's completed, and I also got the brake actuator on this side, which obviously indicates that I got the spring perch finally. So the other day I went ahead and sandblasted it and got it painted. So I was excited to get that done. So now the front end for this thing is completely almost done, I guess. Alright, so I got the ratchet strap around the frame because I can't pick it up any other way. I can pick it up by the engine, of course, but then I'm putting a lot of stress on the center cross member because it lives the transmission as well. So we're going to try this way this time and see we can get it up. And it's on a slight hill, so the frame I think is going to shift this way, and then we'll just have to reposition the front end all around. There we go. Here we are, we got the front end completely put in. All the brakes work as they're supposed to. The new shackles look fantastic. All the new paint job looks great. Still got to replace some of the hardware, but that's not that big of a deal. That's an easy thing to fix. And then got to work on the spindles eventually. But the whole deal with the front end was trying to get where the rust was gone, get a new paint job on like the front axle, leaf springs, the split wishbones, and stuff like that. So I think that it came out fantastic. And you can see I got some rust up in there. I got to get that cleaned up. Eventually I'll pull the engine again one last time and get that all fixed up. But I am very happy with it. Brakes look great over there, meaning black. They aren't rusted anymore. It's a real big change from what this was. And you guys can see that some of this is pretty wet. We're going to be starting to take some of this apart here in a little bit to take and get this front suspension all actually cleaned up and painted. That way I don't have just rust sitting out here, and it's actually protected from the weather as well. That's the front end build though. I appreciate you guys all watching. Hope you guys enjoyed following along and getting this completed. If you have any questions, comments, you know, leave them down in the section below and I'll respond to you guys. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.